up, YouTube? It's your boy, the Incredible Joe, back at it again with another video. You already know what time it is, baby. Today, what I want to do is I want to get a little bit personal with y'all, man. I want to tell y'all the story as to why I dropped out of school. So, the reason why I dropped out of school was because I realized it wasn't something I wanted to do. Before I went into school, I realized that I didn't really want to go, and I didn't want to, do all the kind of scholastic type things, because I knew at the end of the day what I wanted to do wasn't school. You know what I mean? I didn't necessarily know what it was to be exact, but I knew it wasn't school, right? And when I was coming up my senior year, it was kind of pressed to go to school. And I'm not gonna sit here and say I came from a bad situation, because I didn't. Middle class parents, I'm very fortunate to have things that I have, and I'm very blessed is a word. But my parents, wanted me to go to school. My grandmother, she wanted me to go to school as well. Different people wanted me to go to school, so I felt pressured to go to school, even though I didn't want to. So ultimately I went to school for my first semester, and I came out of school, right? I didn't even finish the whole semester. I just went for that first half of the first semester, and then I stopped going. And I used to put my backpack on like I was going to school, leave the house, and I'll see y'all later. I wouldn't come back to later on knowing I ain't going to class. My mom wasn't dumb. She knew I wasn't going to class either, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. But like I said, I knew I didn't want to go. And I was, like I said, my whole senior year, I was applying to schools and stuff like that. And that was exciting at first, even though I didn't want to go, I was applying and applying and applying. When I got accepted to certain schools, I was like, okay, it gives you a little bit of because they accepted you. You can come, so you get a little bit of that pride, a little sense of dignity. You're like, okay, I'm gonna go to school, and but that's ultimately not what I wanted to do. So this is what happened. So ultimately, this is what happened when I dropped out of school. When I decided to drop out of school, I was working at a police department. My girlfriend's dad got me the job, and I was working part-time because you couldn't be full-time until you were 21. I was only 17 at the time, so I had 3 years. I had turned 18 right after graduation. No, I was 18, I'm sorry, because you have to be 18 to get the job. But anyway, I was working at the police department, and I knew I didn't want to be a police officer. I knew I didn't want to deal with people, in that kind of way for the rest of my life. I knew that. But when you don't go to school, your brain kind of gets wrapped around the fact of, I'm not in school, so what I'm doing right now probably should be something I stick with because I have experience in it, right? So that's what I was thinking. I already worked in the jail. I was a jailer, or CO, whatever. I was a jailer working in the jail, so I'm like, okay, maybe I can, work here a little bit and then become a police officer. Or then I looked into being a private investigator. Then I looked into possibly working for the feds. I think about just different stuff to do because I knew I was already in that line of work, so why not, right? So the thing was, I knew I didn't want to do it, like I said, so I started applying for jobs out of state because I knew I didn't want to be in Louisiana either. Like I said, that's actually where I was living. I'm from Atlanta, but I lived and graduated from Louisiana and all that kind of stuff. It is what it is. I live in Houston now. But anyways, fast forward, I knew what I wanted to do, so I started applying to different places out of state, anywhere I could go as far as in the South, because I still have my girlfriend, of course, and I wanted to stay close to her, and we're still dating, by the way, 4 years in March. But I knew that I didn't want to be in Louisiana anymore. I knew I didn't want to be in school. I knew I didn't want to be a freaking police officer working with criminals, period. So I was like, what am I going to do? So I started applying, right? And the more I kept getting rejected, I just started to realize, like, either my resume is too short, or I'm too young, but something's the problem. Excuse me. That something was a problem, so I started applying to the prison system here in Texas. To fast forward, I started applying to the prison system here in Texas, and I ended up getting a call back to the prison I applied to in Lubbock, Texas. And for you, Lubbock is out by El Paso, which is like, shit, from Houston is like 9 hours, or not 9 hours, I'm tripping. From Houston is like, I think, no, it is about 7 to 9 hours, I believe. But from where we lived in Louisiana, it was like what is it, 10, 11 hours. So, you know, but I was prepared to go. I was like, you know, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm not in school, so I gotta do something. So like, I'm looking for apartments and stuff in Lubbock. I don't have any family out there. I was looking for apartments and stuff in Lubbock, you know, trying to figure it out. I'm like, man, I'm going, you know, it is what it is. You know, even though it's gonna be like extra long distance, you know, I knew it was something I was going to do because I knew I had a goal. I'm gonna tell you what the goal is in just a second. I knew I had a goal, man, so that's why I chose to go ahead and go. And she called me and she was like, you know, you have to go take your test in Huntsville, and then you have to go, when you pass your test, you go to the academy and all that kind of stuff, right? So instead of going to Lubbock, just to fast forward, I ended up coming to work in Beaumont, Texas, and I moved to Houston. I was driving from Houston to Beaumont every day. So I ended up going to work in Beaumont, Texas at Styles Unit, the maximum security prison out there. I was working out there, and it wasn't, to be honest, prison. I'm not an inmate, right? So I can't tell you what it is from the inmate side. I can just tell you what I saw on the inmate side, you know, but it's not what TV makes it to be. You got a slight idea, but it's over dramatic on TV. Like prison, if you work as a CEO, it makes you lazy, right? And I wasn't the kind of CEO that's pick that up, do this, eat that, go to sleep. I wasn't that kind of guy. Like, I was real chill, laid back. For anybody that's out of prison that may watch this, that recognize or realize who I am, you already know I wasn't like that, man. Like, I was the kind of guy, like, you could do certain things and you're just like, yeah, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I knew it wasn't what I wanted to do. And at the end of the day, prison is dangerous as well. You know, you could, certain guys be off their rocker one day and you done snitched and got him rolled up, and now you're hungry and starving, or you're in a hole and now he got it in for you. And I'm over here, I'm just working my little 12-hour shift, worrying about, you know what I'm saying, well, somebody finna, you know, put that jug in me real quick. So it wasn't worth it to me. So fast forward through that, I worked there for 8 months, right? And my goal when I worked there, I knew when I left college I wanted to do real estate, right? I wanted to become a real estate investor. So when I left college and I started working in the prison, my mindset, the whole goal, I was like, I'm gonna get to where I need to be. So I was like, that was in May of 2017. I said 2018 September, I'm gonna buy my first real estate property, right? So this is what happened. Come, what is it, February, right? It's around the time, no, come January, I'm looking at different properties. I'm hungry for it. Like, I want it so bad, but I know it's not that time yet. And I'm still like, I'm wait till September. And I had got to the point to where I had the money to invest in a smaller property if I wanted to, but I was like, I'm gonna wait because I want to have that cushion behind me just in case something goes wrong. So I was talking to my girlfriend about it and talking to my mom, and both of them, you know, were kind of like, you know, go ahead and see what's out there, you know, just see what you can find. So I was like, cool. So fast forward to February, I've been at the prison probably about 7 months, 8 months, somewhere in there. I've been at the prison, and I found a property I was looking. I called I got in touch with the realtor, and Mark Fulcher. Anybody in Houston, call Mark Fulcher. He's a very good realtor, very good guy, you know, very personable. Honestly, I would refer him to anybody. I trust him a lot. But anyway, past that, I found a property that I was interested in, and I called, and it was like, okay, it's gone. You know, we called another one. All right, it's gone, under contract. That's what they say, under contract. Called again, it's under contract. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, I'm frustrated. I'm like, bro, maybe it's a sign I shouldn't even fool with it, because every time we call somebody, it's under contract. So we call. Then we meet up. It's raining and thunder, by the way. It's thunderstorms. But then we meet up and we found this house over by the Hobby Airport. So we go look at it. It's a nice house or whatever. People moving out of it. So about a week later, the next day we called on that house, and the realtor was like, "Oh, we've been receiving offers. They wanted $99,000. They were receiving offers over $100,000." So I didn't want to be put in a position to where I had to pay more than I wanted to, because I didn't want to pay more than $100,000 for a property, period. You know, so we were looking. I was like, nah, don't even worry about it, forget it. So then we were like, well, maybe we can get a loan increase, because I qualified for 190, but I only wanted to use 100. So I was like, cool. So if we get a loan increase, that means I'm gonna go ahead, and what I wanted to do at first was get a duplex, right? So that's what I was gonna do. We were looking, and we ended up finding a duplex. We found two of them. One, I forgot where it was, but it was nice. Had two garages on it, but it was like 175. It was 175,000. Then I saw another one out by out on Westheimer by the Galleria. Everybody knows about the Galleria area, so it's a very prominent area. The area is developing very well, but I found one by the Galleria, and the second we looked at it, we called the realtor over the Galleria. We called him and was like, "Hey, can we look at today?" He's like, "Sure." And do know I had to go to work at the prison. I had to leave Houston at 3 o'clock to be in Beaumont at work on time by 6. So we called them, and they're like, "Hey, you can come look at it now." And it's like 12 o'clock right now, and to get to the Galleria, it with traffic can be about an hour. And then they don't count for the 30 minutes we spent looking at it, then an hour to coming back. But around this time at the prison, I already knew I didn't want to be there no more. So I was kind of like, screw it, whatever, let's go look at it. So we went and looked at it, and I liked it. I'm not gonna lie, it's top and bottom unit. So I went and looked at it. I liked it. The bottom unit had hardwood flooring. The top unit had carpet, but it was totally remodeled, totally redone, brand new appliances, everything. So I was like, cool. Sign me up. Like, how do we get started? So I paid. We offered. They wanted 143, and we offered 140. And I remember nobody had come and looked at the property for like 6 months. So I'm like, we got this easy. And all of a sudden, the realtor from their realtor called my realtor and was like, somebody else is trying to put it down an offer. With more money down. No, they're trying to put in an offer, and they're going to have it's a cash offer. They're putting the cash offer down, whatever. So we had to wait and see if they're actually going to come through with it. And it was the most anxious I've been in a long time, because I knew I was this close. I was this close to getting what I wanted and finally achieving what I said I was going to set out to achieve when I dropped out of college. So it was around 7 o'clock when he told me that, and he was like, bud, we might have to find something else. That's what he told me. Like, so around 10 o'clock, he calls me. He's like, "Hey, man." I was like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Well, you can sleep well tonight." And from then on, I realized everything that I wanted to accomplish when I dropped out of school, to that point, I did it. And I said it was going to be September, right? Well, this was in February. We didn't actually close on it till March, though, because, the closing process took like a month. I'm going to go over the trials that I had in the closing process, but just to confirm what I'm trying to tell you guys is everything that I said I was going to do when I dropped out of school, when I told my mom I want to get into real estate, I was going to buy my first property, I did that. You know what I mean? And when he said you can sleep well tonight, I had a tear in my eye, because I realized, like, to a lot of people, it's like, dude, all you do is, get a mortgage, but it's bigger than that. You know what I mean? So me and my girlfriend, we were just kind of chilling, and she was like, yeah, we high-fived and, ooh, and all that kind of stuff. But I was 19, you know what I mean? And to me, it was kind of like being 19, accomplishing a feat like that, being able to be blessed enough to accomplish something like that. It meant a lot to me, you know what I mean? A lot to me, it really did. So I was able to say I bought my first rental property before I was 20. I turned 20 in May, on May 31st. So like I said, I was blessed by the Most High to be able to do that. But while I was going through the closing process, I had a lot of trials and tribulations. I was like, man, this is rough. Like, the paperwork and all that kind of stuff I had to do, get the paycheck stubs and all that kind of stuff. And I actually had to come up with an extra $1,600 because they said, what was it? I forgot why I had to come up with an extra $1,600. But I had to. The underwriter wanted it, and I had to come up with that. And excuse me, when I bought the property, I had bought it so soon that I had enough to put down for all the down payment, taxes, title, closing fees, closing costs, all that kind of stuff. I had all of that, but then it kind of drained my account. Like, I'm talking about just drained the dog's crap out of my account. You know what I mean? So when it came with that $1,600, I was like, why? Like, why do I need that? So I'm tripping. Like, man, like, do I even want to go through this crap anymore? Because I could have just said forget it and been through with it, and I wouldn't have lost any money, right? So I was just sitting there thinking, and the $1,600, I came up with the $1,600. I had my grandmother, she gave me the $1,600 as a gift, Thank God for my grandmother. She's been a blessing to my parents as well. You know what I mean? Everybody around me that supports me, they're all a blessing. You know what I mean? No matter what they do or how much they contribute, it's still a blessing nonetheless, because not everybody has a support system. But that's why I always tell you guys to build up with ones that are trying to build you up, and you guys can build an empire together. Support the ones who support you and love the ones who support you. But so I got the rental property before I turned 20, and that's why I dropped out of school. And then, you know, I wanted a Hellcat. The Hellcat's my dream car, and I was like, well, I'm gonna get the Hellcat. I'm gonna get it, you know, as soon as I. But by the way, I quit the prison as soon as I got the property. I quit working at the prison, and I became a car salesman. Right. I was a car salesman for a little while, about 2 months, and then my boss said something to me that ticked me off, and about 2 weeks later, you know, I quit. And I realized that when you work for someone else, they don't care about you. You know what I mean? They care about you if you put in their pockets right, but other than that, they don't care about you. You know what I mean? So I was like, you know, I quit. I didn't put in my 2 weeks or anything like that. I quit working for anybody else but myself. Now I'm fully self-employed and I have my own businesses. But and that's a story for another day. But I said I wanted a Hellcat. Hellcat's my dream car, and I was going to get it. That's how I ended up with this car. And they told me, you have the credit, you have the income, but you've never financed anything that expensive, or a car that expensive, I should say. So they told me, you know, you want the Scat Pack. And I sat there and I thought about it, and I was like, whatever. So I got the Scat Pack, you know, and at first I was like, damn, I really didn't want that car. But now, man, it's growing on me. I love this car to death. Really? Am I still gonna get the Hellcat? Yes, I am. Because like I said, it's a dream of mine. I always tell you guys to accomplish your dreams, so I gotta do the same thing. So, like I said, I got the Scat Pack, and I realized that God did this for a reason. I don't know what it is, but it was for a reason that I had to do this first. It's levels to everything, you know what I mean? You're not gonna start off at the top, you know, unless you just have it like that. But in my situation, like I said, I was not poor growing up, so my situation, I can't say that I was a Donald Trump type kid, more or less. I kind of had blessed opportunities, like I said. So with this car, I realized God was trying to show me something, you know, as levels to everything. So then in doing so, I started my YouTube channel with this car, and honestly, I feel like I didn't make the wrong decision, because I was going to say screw it, I wasn't going to get nothing. I was just going to wait and just wait till I get a Hellcat, but that wouldn't have made sense, because I would have gone through the same thing. They ran my credit literally 19 times. Yeah, that's how many times I ran my credit just to get this car, just get a Hellcat, but I ended up with this car. But anyway, man, it's just a little short story. The more subscribers I get, the more I'm going to tell you about my little personal situation, my personal life. But what you take from the story is that you can do anything you put your mind to, and not everybody's going to think it makes sense. It's not going to make sense to everybody. Not everybody's going to support you. But anything you put your mind to, you can do it, and you can build an empire of your own. I have not built an empire. I am not rich. Hell, right now I'm kind of going through a little slump, but it is what it is. You know, life goes on, and as long as I got God on my side, I know I'm gonna be straight. But anyway, man, like, subscribe, share, comment, hit the notification bell below, man. Like I said, stay positive, stay progressive every single day. You can do what you want to do every single day. You stay progressive. That does not mean you have to make $1 every day, but you stay progressive. You hit the ground running hard, and you do what you want to do, because you can do it. Don't let nobody tell you can't do nothing, because you can do anything you put your mind to, because I believe in you, and you believe in yourself, and that's all you need. All you need is yourself and God, and then if nobody else support you, to hell with them. But anyway, man, it's Incredible Joe. Continue to support me, man. I'm going to support you guys as well. If you subscribe to me, I'm subscribing right back to you. Stay tuned, because I just ran across another Mustang today, and you know I had to order a Mustang with a large fry and a shake. You know what I mean? So stay tuned for that video, man. It's Incredible Joe. I love all y'all. Appreciate it. I'm out of here. Peace.